Anyway, welcome to the programme tonight. Now, listen, for the first hour this evening, we'll do something different. Normally we have a free-for-all. Tonight we're going to do, is Reg Kray staying in prison for the rest of his life or not? Or put it another way, Reggie will be sitting there listening in the moment, so, all right, Reggie? On March the 5th, 1969, identical twins Reggie and Ronnie Kray were sent to prison for a minimum of 30 years. The twins will always be remembered as Britain's most notorious gangsters. During the 60s, they built a criminal empire of fraud, gambling, protection, and extortion. They punched and slashed their way to the top of the criminal pile. But their violence eventually ended in murder. Ronnie Kray shot and killed a villain called George Cornell. Reggie Kray stabbed to death Jack the Hat McVitie. Ronnie died 5 years ago in Broadmoor Mental Hospital for the criminally insane. But Reg is still in prison after 31 years. Should we let him out? Why are we keeping him in prison? For anybody who was around when Ronnie died and when his funeral was being carried out, you would have thought it was a member of the royal family who was getting buried. Hundreds of thousands of people turned out on the streets. It was an enormous affair. Why? What is the magic of the Krays? Why are the Krays still a legend? I'm just interested to know what you think. Are you absolutely beside yourself at the idea of this guy being let out of prison? Roberta Kray, Reggie's wife, will be in the studio with me in a few minutes' time. What's your view? Call me now. The lines are open. There's a spare line. If you're quick, you'll get on. Welcome back. We're talking about Reggie Kray, a legend who still lives, who's been incarcerated in prison for over 30 years. Roberta Kray is with me. She's his wife. What do you think about it? Is it wrong that we're sitting here talking about trying to get a man who, after all, was convicted of murder out of prison? You must have read some of the stories about the Krays.
What does he say about his gang, he and his brother, the way they ran the East End of London? What does he actually say to you about it?
Well, we've talked about those times. It's a mixture of emotions. He has some regrets, but you can't regret everything. You can't look back over your whole life.
To be able to survive and be as lucid as he is for over 31 years, how does anybody do that? And do we actually learn anything from this, do you think? Let's go to the calls.
There is something about when you're young and you watch all these gangster films. Young boys love a gangster. But the Krays actually got far beyond control. There's all this folklore. They used to look after their own people, old ladies that used to live in the manor and things like that. But there was loads of local shopkeepers that had to pay protection money. They were absolute bullies.
You're a black cab driver. Oh, what's your name? Simon, and you London black cabbie.
Reggie Kray's been in prison long enough. I think he actually did a job that the police force should have done. I think we have to look at the...
I think that's the most stupid thing. I've heard some stupid things, Tony, and that is the most stupid thing. Thank you for your call. Wilfred.
A very good evening, James. I think he should stay in. Other gangland killers ought to be serving the same amount of time. It's an absolute disgrace. It's unbelievable.
I'm just really, really astounded that somebody who seems to be an intelligent, middle-class, educated woman could be so in love with somebody who's clearly so much of an evil, callous bastard.
Roberta?
Oh, that's a very touching description of Reg. I think what you're saying is that people have no capacity for change, have no potential for change. I know his reputation is part of him, but that's not what attracted me to him. When I went to see him, that wasn't why I went.
You know, the glamour and the romance of the myth that's built up around him.
There's nothing glamorous about a man being in prison.
He'll be listening to you, I know, right
He
now.
will be.
So would you like to finish off by saying anything to him this evening? Or are you going to go and see him tomorrow? Or?
Well, I would actually like to say what I meant to say right at the beginning, which was to pass on his very best regards to you and to all your listeners tonight. And to say a very personal good night and I love you to my husband. Good night, Reg.
Thank you very much indeed for coming this evening. 08700 40 50 60 is the number to call if you would like to.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please join our Facebook group. It's called Krays Crime Lords of London. We're a friendly moderated group with over 1,000 Kray and other celebrated gangster videos available for view. There's also thousands of images in the photos sections. The link for the group is in the YouTube description section. I hope we see you there soon.